Hey everybody, Brandon Aiden back here, Galaxy Records. We know we talked about next week doing some Sleep Token. We decided we're going to try twice a week. In the middle, we're going to do old stuff. At the end, we're going to do new stuff. So opening your eyes to both some classics and some new age metal. Today, gentlemen, been on my mind because this has just come out recently. There it is. It's a documentary called Dio, Dreamers Never Die. It's about one of the greatest heavy metal vocalists of all time, Ronnie James Dio, who passed away sadly a number of years ago as a result of stomach cancer. Documentary is out. It's great. Definitely recommend you watch it. Pick it up Amazon anywhere you want. We're going to talk today about a song in particular from his second album, his second solo album at least. It's Upside Down, which was called The Last in Line. You'll see it's by Mr. Ronnie James Dio. He was in a band called Rainbow for a number of years. He was in Black Sabbath a number of years. He was in Elf a number of years. After all that, he broke out, made some solo stuff. To me, it's some of the best of his work is his solo stuff. A lot of the Black Sabbath was good.
Before all that, he was in doo-wop, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, back in the day, back in the, I guess it must have been, 50s, he was a member of a band called Ronnie and the Red Caps, Ronnie and the Prophets. And yes, they sang doo-wop. So An Angel is Missing is a song that you can find on YouTube by Dio, just as well as this next track, which, as you'll see, is anything but, a gentle walk in the park. It's about as far from doo-wop as you can get. And lots of great stuff. I think it was 5 albums, maybe 6 that Dio put out by himself, and then a number with other people. So the moral of the story is, if you like this song, there's plenty of Dio for you to discover, and just ask us. We're rather up on Dio, so we can tell you whatever you need to know, steer you in the right direction. Anyway, let's watch it. We'll listen to it, talk about it after, and see how it goes. So here, first we got to grab us and drag us down here like this. And we mute our audio. We'll go to system audio for the song, talk about it after. Here we go.
Right inside the darkness that it needs, yeah.
was Mr. Ronnie James Dio brings you The Last in Line, one of my favorites from Dio. One of my favorite albums. Just about every song on here really is good. Of course, Holy Diver, the album before this, also excellent. And Rainbow and Black Sabbath, incredible all around.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Dio, you've heard some of his Rainbow, you've heard some of his Black Sabbath work, some of his solo work. Is there a particular set or body of his work that appeals more to you? Do you find you like the solo stuff better? Or?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say one stands out to me. I mean, like I said, I have a unique interest in the older stuff, so I did bring up the doo-wop stuff. I mean,
yeah.
I know we're not necessarily talking about that, but that stuff interests me. Just anything that shows off his vocals, because his vocals are obviously what draws me.
Yeah.
Comparative to any other kind of artist, and a lot of his, like Holy Diver, that's a good song that shows off his vocals, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of his solo stuff is very good.
Yeah, incredible range, incredible control, incredible vibrato. He attributes, and if you watch the documentary, you'll learn a bit about it. But he attributes his some of his vocal ability to breathing techniques he learned playing the trumpet in school. So he carried that with him. He played some bass, he played some different things. So writing, he was always deeply involved. That particular track. And the Last in Line album, the Holy Diver album, have a great guitarist named Vivian Campbell, who ended up moving on to Def Leppard, where he was kind of wasted, really. But there was some conflict between Dio as an entity, as a band, and the guitarist Vivian Campbell, which is a shame. I think that Dio would have made even better music had he stuck it out with Vivian Campbell, because I, for one, looking at all the guitarists that Dio ever had, Vivian Campbell to me is the best. Even better than Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, but that's just my personal opinion. He went through a couple of guitarists after this album that were good, but none of them really had the chops of Vivian Campbell. And so the riffs that are really hot in this album and on Holy Diver. And Sacred Heart. Once you get to the album after that, it kind of starts to fall off as far as guitar work, in my opinion. Again, and he ended up with a gentleman named Tracy G, who, if I never have to watch play the guitar again, I will be quite happy. But anyway, Dio is incredible, guys. For you younger folks who don't know who he is, check him out. Powerful voice, incredible music. If you talk Black Sabbath, you know what kind of music you can expect from them. Same kind of music that they did with with Ozzy, they did with Dio, except with Dio's voice backing it up, which is something special. Rainbow went on to do a number of things after Dio left that were hits, but their stuff with Dio survives the test of time. Best stuff to me that they ever recorded. So
did anything ever happen to Elf?
Elf, and it's funny. I just watched a documentary. You'd think I'd know a little bit about what happened with Elf, but I really don't recall exactly why he bailed on Elf, other than so Richie Blackmore, who Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, that's what they call the band. He was a guitarist for Deep Purple, and they were heading. Deep Purple was in a more funk style than Richie Blackmore was comfortable with, so he walked away and started Rainbow with Dio, whom Elf had been on tour with Rainbow, or not Rainbow, but Deep Purple. So Richie Blackmore had met Dio, things had transpired, and when he made the decision to leave Deep Purple, it became Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. Dio recorded a couple of albums with them, and then Blackmore wanted to do more stuff that would give him radio play in America, and frankly, the stuff he was doing with Dio, it wasn't really pop rockish. It wasn't something that was going to pick up the mainstream. So they moved on from Dio. Dio went to Black Sabbath. Rainbow had some commercial success. Meanwhile, two great albums from Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, with Dio. He then left them. They released an album called Live Evil. It was a live record, and apparently there was some conflicts during mixing and a lot of drugs going on with Black Sabbath. That was never Dio's thing, so Dio kind of bailed and decided to go out on his own. He would return to Black Sabbath years later in the '90s. They recorded an album called Dehumanizer, which is one of the greatest heavy metal albums of all time, in my opinion. And sadly, it's hard to come across on vinyl, so we don't have it, and there's no point, therefore, in us reviewing it and trying to sell it to you. But that was good stuff. And after that, more solo Dio followed up at the end of his career by a reunion with Black Sabbath, but under the guise Heaven and Hell, because Black Sabbath was actively touring still with Ozzy back when he could get up on stage and do whatever it is that he used to do. But so spent his last time in Heaven and Hell. They recorded a couple of good albums, and then unfortunately stomach cancer got him, and so no more Dio. Incredible music, though, incredible legacy left. Can't encourage you enough, if you're a young metal fan that has never heard of Dio, can't encourage you enough to listen to some Dio, or some Rainbow, or some Black Sabbath, or some Elf, but with Dio. All right. Any closing thoughts on Dio? Other than he's amazing, he has probably the greatest voice.
I think we covered it pretty well. He's incredible. You guys have to come check him out some more.
Yeah, absolutely. If you haven't, do. And perhaps in the throwback segment next week, we'll do some Judas Priest with vocals. See, Priest had a lot of great music. They had a lot of commercial success, but to me, the best Priest was always the B-side, and the best vocals from Rob Halford, in my opinion, come on some of the songs that weren't so popular. Blood Red Skies, Victim of Changes, Touch of Evil, things like that. Painkiller. It's impressive that he's singing at full voice, and then he's way up here, and it's not falsetto. That's impressive, but that was never one of my.
That'll be for next week.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs. I would take When the Night Comes Down over Painkiller any day. So maybe we'll listen to When the Night Comes Down. Anyway, next week on the retro version, more retro stuff. Come buy some Dio. Get on your phone, stream some Dio. Let this man live on our generation. He deserves it. All right? Let's do it. See you guys later.